Okay, I have a list of complaints about including the Department of State, the Bureau of Diplomatic Security, 9 of the 11 um, international school associations that are related to the Department of State, and International School Services, as well as Priceline and Allianz Travel Insurance Agency, all in one situation. So these are guys that are not accommodating me. They're not responding to emails. They're not acknowledging requests, and they're not answering questions. And these are guys that take the time to they take 10 to 15 minutes of their time to contact my probation officer and contact student conduct at the university I'm at. They take that time to make things worse for me and escalate things uh, for using terms like "you need to do this" and accommodate me immediately, instead of actually taking those 10 to 15 minutes to actually get me accommodated and cater to my requests and answer the questions I need answered. So I guess it all started with so I'm going to be an international school teacher in Tashkent in 2021, and so they have so there's 11 international schools associations, and one of them's Tri-A, and that includes Mexico, Central America, and Colombia/Caribbean. So that's 3 organizations in one conference. And then the AGIS in Germany and ECIS Western Europe, those are combined. The AGIS ECIS conference is combined into one conference. So there's two conferences in one. And I just got back from the ASIS or AGIS ECIS conference in Hanover. Uh, so there's 11 organizations and 8 conferences. So I just got back from the one in Hanover, and the one in Warsaw just ended, the Central Eastern European, and that's where Tashkent is, and that's where I'm going to move in 2021 to try to get a job there. And then there's a Mediterranean one, so that's South America. So that's 4 organizations in Europe, 4 in the Americas, 2 conferences in the Americas, 3 conferences in Europe, and then there's 2 in Asia and 1 in Africa, and they have their own conferences. So after the Warsaw one, that's 13th to 16th of March, 2019. That was in Warsaw, and then the 2 Bangkok ones. Both of the Asian ones are in Bangkok. EARCOS, East Asia, NESA, Near East, South Asia. Those are March 21st and March 29th to 31st. 21st to 23rd and 29th to 31st. And then there's a Santiago one that was April 2nd to 5th. So I had permission for 7 of these 8 conferences, and 7 of 8. And I got back from the one in Hanover. And so the way I got all this permission was because I emailed every board member of every association, every international school association, asking them to clarify if they had a non-member student option for me to participate in their workshops at their conferences. So it's for workshop certification, and it's basically the best thing I could get for my resume. And so when I didn't have permission, I used the concept that so you have African and South American and Asian students all getting to travel the world, getting their opportunities, and you're not accommodating European students in the same fashion. So that's how I got my 7 of 8 conference permission. And after I had 7 of 8, I was working on the Africa one, and basically I got a response from the guy at AASSA. This was before I had all 7 permission. AASSA is ASSA, South America. So I sent a very detailed, covered absolutely everything, first email to this executive director of AASSA. And he responded with, what school are you affiliated? And then I said, you obviously didn't read my first email because I covered absolutely everything. And not only did I say, you obviously didn't read my first email because he asked a question that was already answered, but because he left 5 to 10 of my all 5 to 10 of my questions unanswered. And that's something. Well, I remain professional, so he ceased communication with me for saying, you obviously didn't read my first email. And then he ceased communication with me, and that's something he's not in a position to do. That's something he doesn't have the right to do, and even as an executive director. And so I'm sitting over here with this one individual who's choosing to make things worse for me, orchestrating what I'm doing, having his way with me, orchestrating what I'm doing. He's got negative intent towards me. My intent's positive towards myself. He's got a detrimental motive towards me. He's trying to teach me a lesson, and he's foresees this thing getting worse. He knows he's going to end up provoking a negative reaction out of me, and he knows he's going to try to teach me a lesson. There's 100. I have this checklist, so I'm not going to go through. There's 100 things that he was doing, and that aren't against any terms and conditions, but basically he's having his way with me, and he's getting off on me, and he foresees this event. He's provoking a negative reaction, so I remain professional after he ceases communication with me. So then I find out how to navigate all these websites, and then I sign up myself, and basically I found out they do in fact have a student non-member option at the AASSA Santiago, so I signed up for that. And that's all he had to respond with from the very beginning, because that's the only thing my first email was about. So if he was doing his job, and if he was providing me with the service he was hired to do, and being a genuine human being with respect for himself, setting a good example, then he would have accommodated me and catered to me, and basically should have been understanding that he should understand my frustrations not getting responses from anybody, and that should be understandable. And so basically I remain professional, and then a week after I sign up for the AASSA Santiago one, he sends me an email saying he terminated my opportunity. And at this point I have my flights are booked. Basically the second time he did something he doesn't have the right to do. This is one individual making a stubborn, individual, blatantly offended decision for whatever reason. And it looks like an ongoing theme of these dudes trying to teach me a lesson. I don't know if they all got doctorates to get doctors of education just to get off on becoming international school teachers, but that's what it sure seems like. And basically, there's a lot of things. I'm going to make more videos about people succumbing to things that they've been through this situation before, so they're putting other people through this situation. I'm going to do a whole video on that. Anyway, so basically, I provided the response. It's the first time I used profanity. That I provided the response that he was looking for, because I'm sitting over here in a position letting this dude have his way with me, and I'd lose respect for myself if I took it on the chin and let this guy do what he's doing. So I accommodated him and provided the negative reaction he was looking for. And basically he used that response like he knew he was going to do, and he relayed that to all the other organizations that followed suit in terminating my opportunities. Okay, so then so 9 of the 11, I'll say the ones that haven't wronged me are AAGIS, Germany, and Tri-A in the Central America. And then all the other ones, either not responding, terminating my opportunities, not accommodating me, not answering questions. These guys are making things worse for me. They're taking the time out. Like, they're not responding to me. I send a request, a professional one. My first email is always professional, and then they get that request and I don't get a response for 2 weeks, and then I send an email expressing my frustration about the fact that I haven't been accommodated, and then I get a call a day later, knocks on my door from student conduct saying I need to go to a meeting a day later when they hadn't responded to my professional one in 2 weeks. And so basically that's how I got in the situation with all the international schools. And then so there's Search Associates, and there's International School Services, ISS and Search Associates. These are two organizations that hire 90% of all international school teachers. So I contact them so they could use, whether they're only involved in recruiting or not, these people could still use their reputability to do the right thing and tell this person doesn't have the right to provoke a negative reaction. Because the first unprofessional thing that occurred was me getting put in a situation where I have to let this guy have his way with me. There isn't a place for me to file a complaint against an executive director. His subordinates aren't responding to me. And basically, not only are their executive directors relayed everything that comes to them, they just relay it to the executive director, who just decides who to get off on and who not to get off on. And then they're also there. A lot of these schools have a main email, and then you send them a request and you don't get a response. So I don't know who they're hiring. They hire an individual to respond to emails, acknowledge requests, and answer questions and provide statuses and updates to the people's endeavors and people's concerns and questions and stuff like that. Because that should be what their job is. And then they don't. I don't know. I want to know who is receiving these emails, marking it as spam, and not accommodating. I want to know who's doing that. And basically, International School Services, exact same thing. I contacted first. You send to all 7 divisions on their website. You send your situation. You don't get a response for a month. Then you call then you leave more expressing your frustration, and then you get then you call every single board member, and basically nobody responds to you, and then you get a cease and desist, which is permanent. Or restraining order is not permanent. You get a cease and desist from the International School Services that's supposed to recruit you in 2 years with the path that you're going to be on, because you're not going to take it up the ass from some dude. And basically, I'm not going to let this dude get off on me in pursuit of my resume opportunities. And then you contact Department of State, because I get a cease and desist from the Bureau of Diplomatic Security. So I contact the Department of State to get on the line with the Bureau of Diplomatic Security, and their message machine is just as poor as a courthouse message machine. It could definitely be done better. And their receptionists, or however you call it, they do a very poor job of staying on the line with you and accommodating you. And basically, Department of State, I messaged them last week, 2 weeks ago. I messaged them on their website with a complete description of my situation, and then didn't get a response for 2 weeks. Last night, I sent them a message expressing my concerns, and then today I get an email from Student Conduct saying that regarding the comments I made last night, and I messaged them 2 weeks ago. Department of State and Bureau of Diplomatic Security is just like West Virginia University Student Conduct, just like a probation officer. What they should do is respond immediately. Hey, why don't you just accommodate this person instead of escalating things? It's because these guys know that provoking negative reactions isn't on a terms and conditions, and they basically provoke you. And I read cease and desist, it's permanent, and there's also 5 reasons for a cease and desist. And they were doing 3 of those reasons before I did my 1 reason, which was harassment. They were doing 3 of those reasons. And I'm not going to put a cease and desist on them, because I need them to get me employed in 2 years. And basically, so it's and Search Associates isn't responding, so they're out of my complaint list. You guys need to put your employees through some sort of customer service course or something, and answer questions on how to handle people who are legitimately looking for requests. And So Department of State, Department of Bureau of Diplomatic Security isn't doing anything about it, and also um, I finally, after so many calls to the Department of State with them just sending me to their answering machine, with me like screaming at them not to transfer me, uh, they just transfer me to the answering machine, and then finally, this one person found uh, 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 found where to transfer me. Office of Overseas Schools. I haven't heard of this, and they're involved with all 190 schools overseas that pertain to embassies, and basically, so I'm alumni Tashkent, Oslo, and Budapest. So these guys should have helped me out. I just got off the phone with them, told them this situation, and basically they're contacting Bureau of Diplomatic Security, and they're going to go over this, and I'm going to make a video updating what's happening, because I'm going to have to go through ISS, and these conferences weren't just for workshop certificates. I was trying to get references. I'm building a website, International Professional Forum, and it's got I'm trying to get every school, every international school first, and then go to universities, and then work my way to every public and private school in every country. And I'm trying to make like a LinkedIn, but like organized, and so that's why I contacted ECIS, MAIS, and NESA, because 3 of those 11 don't have their member schools on the website, and I asked them for their member schools and their address and their number, because I didn't some of them, and they I use, even using stuff like "you need to do this" because I'm not being accommodated should be understandable, and using phrases like "accommodate me immediately." Uh, I'm getting messages from student conduct saying that someone's reported, and these guys, like, my Microsoft account's getting suspended every time someone reports me. I'll do a whole new video on how the Halo company 343 Industries. I have the third most sticks in Halo 5, and leader just surpassed me at 24,000 games. He has 11,500. Then some other dude who has like 9,000 games. First guy had 24,000. This guy had 9,000. Is at like 11,000. Other guys at leaders at 11,500. I'm at 10,500 in 2,300 games. And these dudes, 343 Industries, they put. So I'm saying this situation on like Halo boards and stuff, and my Microsoft account's getting suspended because someone's just reporting me. So I get a report from student conduct. I get a report about me to student conduct. Automatically is I'm going to be disciplined. I get a report on to Microsoft. Automatically my account's restricted. These guys aren't looking into these reports. It's oftentimes dudes getting off on me, or dudes provoking reactions and foreseeing the fact that I'm going to be disciplined before it even happens, before I even do what I'm supposed to be disciplined for. And basically, to go over this next situation, at 1,800 games, 343 Industries put me in a permanent playlist against bots, against AIs, and I didn't record any of this. So they put me in a permanent playlist against bots, and then they lagged out. So for everyone who doesn't know what sticks are, it's plasma grenade and Halo, and basically there's 2 to 4, 2 to 5 grenades in every Halo, and plasma grenade's been the secondary grenade the entire time. It sticks to somebody when you throw it at them. So basically, at 1,800 games, these guys put me in a permanent playlist against bots. They put me on this one map like 10 games in a row, the only map without plasma grenades, and that was blatantly obvious. But also at 1,800 games, they started lagging out the first 2 sticks of every game, and then every stick after 6. They just lagged it out, or got me stuck. And they're just like writing programs on me. I'm playing all day, just like with all these programs written on me. They're forging on me. They're blowing me up at random spots on the map and stuff. And so basically, yeah, I'm not being accommodated with that either. There isn't a way to contact 343 Industries, and everyone on the boards is just like getting off on me. And also, I ended playing Halo at 2222 games, 2,222, and that's where I wanted it. That's where I wanted my stats. And basically, I checked a week later. It was at 2344. So uh, they played over 100 games on my account, or just altered my stats to where it was at 2344. So yeah, those are my gamer stats. That's false advertising. That's damages. That's a few months of my life dedicated to getting this record. And basically, Halo 6 is coming out on PC, and they're probably going to be hacking me during that too. Uh, so yeah, I'm like 700th in grenade kills, but I still have third most sticks. And but how their monthly leaderboards work. I had the monthly record 4,000, like 4,100 plasma grenade kills, 3,900 sticks in 1 month, and these guys. And the way their monthly leaderboard works is if you play on like April 1st and you have this March record, if you play on April 1st, your monthly resets. So you can't have a bunch of records at the top. And basically, I ended at 222 games with 4,000 at the top of each, and the next was like not even 1,100. And these guys played a game on my account, and then my monthly record is gone. I'm not even on the per game, sticks per game or plasmas per game, and basically that's 343 getting off on me. I have a bunch of other complaints. I'll just make another video about that.